Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Political Nerd. And you know what? Last week, I regaled you with tales of mortgages and financing. And you know what? Now I'm going to regale you with Realty. I've got Bob Dixon, Dixon's Home Realties. Now, I'm just going to jump right in here, right?
Okay.
Let's tell everybody at home what you do. And what you do and where you do it and in the area, because the area is important.
Right.
Location.
That's it. That's right. So I'm Bob Dixon. I'm with Dixon Homes Realty. I'm a local brokerage, started it 3 years ago, and we are mainly focused on residential homes, helping home buyers and sellers. We're a small brokerage. We have 6 agents right now, and looking to kind of grow it. Have a virtual setup, so we don't have an office per se.
Nice.
We're trying to keep costs low for not only our agents but also for the people that we work with, the families that we work with. So
now, every time I've ever talked to a realtor, the first thing I'll say, "Well, can you do this?" And they'll go, "Oh, no, I'm a listing agent," or "No, I'm a buyer's agent," or "No. I excel in for sale by owners, and I turn them into listings and stuff like that." Is that the realm you're in, or?
Yeah, we work with sellers, buyers. We consult with people that don't have an agent, like for sale by owners. We will talk to them and see if we can help them out. So we don't really focus in one area or the other.
Nice.
It's my dad was in real estate for 30 plus years, and I've worked with him, and I have kind of went a different direction early on, and more of a technical background and all that. And one day I was talking to my dad about I was tired of sitting behind a computer all day long.
Right.
And he said, "Well, you should get into real estate because you got a great personality and you know a lot, and your heart is to help people."
Right.
And that's what my brokerage is all about. So
I bet you picked up a lot there. See, I've been married for 30 years to my wife, and I picked up a lot of mortgage stuff, right? Actually, believe it or not, I picked up a lot of real estate stuff too, because I love talking to realtors. Did you ever just pick on stuff and just help, and because you just kind of knew what was going on?
Well, a lot of times, I was probably the one putting the signs in the ground, doing the grunt work, right? Yep. But after I started and got into real estate, I would always call my dad, and we would always talk about the different deals that we had going on, that I had going on. And he was always, would listen to me and let me tell him what I was going to do. And then he would give his very few words of advice.
Right.
But very solid advice, too. So,
right.
He's 91 years old, and we still talk about real estate.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's a man that when it's like I tell people when my wife's talking about mortgages, she's like E.F. Hutton, you need to shut up and just listen. Mm-hmm. I bet he's the same way when he's talking. You just need to stop and let him talk because he knows what he's talking about.
That's right. There's been times when I've been out all day showing houses, and I'll just call them up on the way home and just tell them about the different houses we saw. And I was like, "Can you believe this house here?" And just kind of talk about some of the details of it. And then he would tell a story about, some of the houses he had seen. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So it definitely brought us closer
together. What area do you cover?
Yeah. So we're focused here in Chattanooga.
Okay.
And but we're licensed in Georgia and Tennessee, and soon to be Alabama as well.
Alabama's coming.
Yep. Alabama's coming.
It's that time zone thing. I'm just telling you right now. It messes with everybody.
Yeah. That's an hour behind.
And then you lose an hour. No, you lose an hour and you need to gain an hour. It's weird.
Depends if you're on that state line. You don't know where you are.
Exactly.
So we're focused. Chattanooga up to Cleveland, Tennessee. Then we also do Saudi Daisy and all over the Chattanooga area down to Dalton. And I originally was licensed in Woodstock, Georgia, so I do stuff in Woodstock, Alpharetta, and down into the Atlanta area as well.
Oh, okay.
So, but the great thing about being a virtual small brokerage is we're able to I'm growing with agents, bringing agents in from different areas because I'm able to keep their costs lower than other brokerages.
Right.
And so I'm hoping to expand and have agents in these different areas as we grow.
So, okay, so is Georgia different than, so because we're used to Florida, is Georgia and Tennessee different that where you may be licensed in Georgia, but it's only, you can only work in a certain part of Georgia, or or if someone's watching you down, say down South Georgia and go, hey, I like Bob, I really want him to help me out here. Can you help him with a house in South Georgia?
Yes, licensed in the state, so you can do anything anywhere in the state. In fact, I've done deals down in St. Simon's Island,
Wow.
in Georgia, so in Brunswick in that area as well.
Okay.
So, and I'm originally from Augusta, so.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so, but yeah, so your folks, you focus on a local area because there's a lot of interaction with your buyers and sellers locally, and so. But if I have been on the road with buyers going, 2-3 hours away, but at some point, it's like
I gotta
either refer it to another agent that's more local, simply because it works out better
right
that way.
And actually, it's not a bad thing because then that builds your network. Right. I mean,
Right.
You got somebody from North Georgia trying to go to South Georgia, and you've got people down there and go, I got a perfect guy for you down there.
Yeah.
Take really good care of you.
Exactly.
And it thinks both ways.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so. Is there a? I have noticed that in the Georgia in this area, the Chattanooga, we're like a tri-state area type of
Yeah.
thing. The different types of homes are just, they're just all over the place.
Right.
And depending on where they're located, whether they're heavily restricted built or they get parts of it where, they just put it together and it was okay.
Yeah. Well, that brings up a good point because, when you're looking at houses and all, you definitely want to work with a home inspector.
Right.
Because some places don't have, depending on the county, city, and things like that, permits and things like that, how old the house is and things. So I always, when I'm working with buyers, I recommend a home inspector because the home inspector can look at the house and see, if it's got settling and different things that you might not see with the naked eye.
Right.
And a lot of times, some of the sellers are not going to exactly tell the buyer. They're supposed to do a disclosure to tell you, but I couldn't remember that day.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so but there are a lot of differences, especially when you get into mountain areas versus where you're not in a mountain area. So you got a house built on the side of the ridge or in the mountain type areas. So.
This is I tell you, it's amazing when we started looking at homes. We were literally driving. We were driving the brow over on Sand Mountain, right? And there are houses that are literally hanging off, right? I mean, they're not hanging, but they're on struts. But it's like my wife was like, nope, nope. I'm not walking out the back of that door and boom, there you go. She's like, you can just push me right over. I said, no, you can just push me right over.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, especially in North Georgia, there's different mountain communities in North Georgia, and then, you really have to get out and see the houses because the pictures, they look nice online. So you've got to get out and see these houses, and especially if they're built on the side of the mountain, you want to look underneath and see how that structure is that's holding that house up. Because I've been under some where pillars are kind of,
bowing
and not looking nice, but you wouldn't be able to tell.
So you're telling me you can get catfished?
Oh yeah,
buying homes.
Yes,
yep, that is crazy. But and then it's like in Florida, we're used to block built, or and the stuff up here. You've got log cabins, you've got manufactured, you've got homes, and you go into some homes and you're like, you swear that's a manufactured home, but it was not. It was foundation built.
Right.
And then you get the pine. It's just it's amazing the plethora of different types of homes here.
Right. And it really boils down to what you're looking for in a home, the location you're looking for, and your budget. So, as mortgage people will tell you, you can only afford so much a month. Now, they'll work on the calculation, and you want to make sure you're not maxing out on that, because you're always going to need money for repairs and things like that. So we do first time home buyer seminars.
Right.
We kind of go over that with first time home buyers, to know what to expect during the process and all that. So you meet with the buyers, and you talk to them about, well, what's your must-haves, what's your like-to-haves, and then what's your budget, what area you need to be close to work, are you working remotely? Back during COVID, everybody was moving out of Atlanta into the North Georgia mountains and things like that because they could work remotely. And I dealt with families wanting to build compounds.
Right? Yeah, man, I'm all out. I'm all about compounds. I'd love to do that.
Even had some that had the prepper sites and stuff like that. So it's crazy back during COVID, but it all boils down to location, budget, and really where you want to be. So.
Right. I do know that the technology here, if you're in Chattanooga or close to the surrounding pieces of the counties of Chattanooga, your internet is you got great internet, but you can go 2 miles and you don't have any internet.
Right.
I mean, I remember when we bought our house, I called up to get our internet, and the lady goes, "Oh, honey, you're in. Oh, it's a great thing because we just put like $10 million in that area and blah blah blah." And I said, "Well, that's great. What am I going to get?" She goes, "You're going to get high-speed DSL." I'm like, "You actually said that with a smile on your face," and I said, "That's dial-up." She goes, "Yeah, but I said, "Well, what do I get?"
Fast.
It's 2 up, 2 down. I'm like, 2 gigs up? No, honey, 2 megs up, 2 megs down. I'm like, I can't even run a television on that.
Yeah,
that was
great.
crazy. But again, you can go 1 mile and get fiber.
Yeah.
But the area is, I mean, Chattanooga is it's a 20 gig.
Yeah.
It's a 20 gig city.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's amazing, and it's a little tech hub too.
Yeah, it is the tech hub, and you've got the VW and different. So you've got people relocating here because it's a great place. California, New York, Chicago is a lot of people that we see relocating here. Even Florida, people that have moved down to Florida during COVID realize, well, we want a season.
Yeah.
So they're
One
moving
at
back
least.
up here. Yeah, at least one. And it's a lot of great things to offer here. But you still have those outlying areas.
Yep.
And I dealt with a couple earlier this year from Austin. They were moving their farm here in the area, and they needed internet access. Well, good thing Elon and Starlink.
Starlink is awesome.
Yeah, so that was the saving grace on that, because we found the perfect property, but they didn't have internet, but they had Starlink. So
Starlink's awesome.
Yeah.
And if you got Starlink, or even I tell you, we where we're at, because I didn't get the high-speed DSL, which so lady was just raving about.
Yeah.
We were blessed enough that there's a tower not more than a quarter mile, so I have T-Mobile for my internet, and I got 3 boxes in there, and that's like I have high-speed internet. So.
Right.
But so you have you probably have got tons of connections when it comes to your your back end people, like your inspectors, your roofers, your electricians. Let's talk about. Do you have a good back group there?
Right. We have a list of what I call preferred vendors.
Okay.
And we always throughout the process of buying a home, so you have the listing side where you're selling your home, and then you have the buying side. So when we're working with buyers, we do a home inspection. A buyer will buy a house. They'll get it under due diligence, so they'll have 10 days, 14 days to kind of look at the house and see if there's any issues with it. Well, one of the ways you find out is you have a home inspector come in and do a home inspection report. And then the home inspector is not going to fix those issues.
No.
They're just going to tell you what's wrong with it.
Yeah, good or bad.
Yeah. And so then we look at it, we see what we can work out with the seller to say, we'd like to get these items repaired and things like that. So when we list, we have to have a good list of vendors, handyman, and things like that
Right.
to fix those issues, to help reduce the cost down of the for the seller because you don't want to lose a sale over a $500, $250 repair, right?
Right.
And so over the years, we've developed this list of not only home inspectors, but roofers, even landscapers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so plumbers is a big one.
Big one, yeah.
Yeah, so
And then once you get that all done, you get your appraisal done because your appraiser, you got to have an appraisal done, and everything comes.
well, unless
in.
you're cash.
Unless you're cash,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, you still want an appraiser done.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You need to have an appraiser.
It would be prudent.
Yeah, I just want just kind of know what you're
Yeah,
buying.
yeah.
So how are the prices in the area?
So they have steadily been going up, and you'll hear mortgage people. I believe your wife, DeLynn, talks about the cost of waiting because you're waiting on an interest rate to come down. The home values are still going up, and it's really, if it's time for you to move, you need to move, right? You need to do what's best for you. Don't worry about interest rates and that kind of thing. Just if you've got the money for the down payment, closing costs, and things like that, and you're in a time to move, then do what's right for you.
Right.
And everything else will take care of itself. If the interest rates drop, you can refinance and things like that.
I love that her saying is marry the house, date the rate,
Yep.
and divorce your landlord.
Exactly.
And that way, so do we have a good selection in this area? I know when we came from Florida, Florida, you couldn't find anything anywhere.
Right.
I mean, at all. And so is the inventory good? And is the inventory good for young home buyers?
Right. So inventory is good. First-time home buyers have gone from like 34 years old to 38 years old.
Right.
But there are younger ones on the market, right? So there are new build, new construction. So you have your D.R. Hortons, and you have some more localized builders that are building a lot of new construction, and they have some incentives for first-time home buyers or just regular buyers to buy new construction. But overall, the market is definitely has a lot of homes on the market for a lot longer than a couple of years ago. In COVID, you would have multiple offers. You'd go show a house, and before you could finish seeing the house,
somebody bought the house.
Somebody bought the house out from under you. So
that's crazy.
That's not the market we're in right now.
Right.
So if you're selling your home, you can expect it to be on the market for 45, 50 days, somewhere in there, if it's priced right.
Right.
If it's priced too high, it's going to stay on the market longer. But there is and there's some lower price homes, higher price homes. So the market has got a good variety of prices as well.
That's phenomenal. I mean, you do. I'm pretty sure you do a cost analysis on the house of what it should actually. I love this. You meet with people. I've got a house. Well, hang on, I want $500,000 for it.
Yeah.
What is it worth? $500,000.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, it might be to the seller, but
but reality.
But reality is, and one of the things I talk to about buyers and sellers is I have a list that I do. It's a pricing worksheet that I call it, and I'm looking at all the different big websites like realtor.com, Zillow.com, all those, and seeing what their estimate is, because the buyers and sellers are looking at those.
Exactly.
Okay. But those prices, if you hadn't gone in and updated your house, if you saying it's a 4-bedroom instead of a 3-bedroom, that estimate is going to be off.
Right.
And so you really want a professional that's in the real estate market, that's out there every day, seeing houses, seeing what the market is, and do a market analysis or equity analysis, because you've built up equity in your house. So there's a lot of things that we see that you just. I love the people that says, "Oh, you'll be able to just buy your house through Zillow and stuff like that." Well.
Nope.
I wouldn't advise that. I'll put it that way. Yeah. So, but you answer those questions for your clients because you know that they're looking at it,
right.
And then I give them an honest opinion of the price, and we still a lot of times you're having to convince them of
Right.
why it's not,
It's not worth $1 million.
it's not worth $1 million.
Right.
And so we address that with our clients for sure.
That's that, and 'cause, that's always been. I've seen more people, and I've actually talked to a lot of people that are like, well, I had to get rid of that guy because that guy he told me my house wasn't worth what it was, and then 7 months later when they haven't sold their house, and I'm like, well, you think that guy was right now? And they're like, yeah, because they finally dropped their houses, their house to the where he
Right.
actually told them he should have been in the first place, and then kind of funny they'll go back and go, this person couldn't do it. You sell the house, and then he'll do
Yeah.
because he priced it right,
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
they was able to sell the house.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about something kind of interesting. What makes this Chattanooga area a good area to buy a home in?
Well, if you love the outdoors, right, Chattanooga is the place for the outdoors.
Right.
So in Tennessee River and all the area downtown and the North Shore and all that is a great area. And I came from North Atlanta, Woodstock area and all that, and I sat in traffic for days on end
You're
in
right.
Atlanta, right? And I quickly found the back roads around Chattanooga.
My dad calls those goat trails.
Yeah, but those goat trails are great ways to get around traffic in Chattanooga. Now, Chattanooga's got a little bit of traffic issues,
Malfunction Junction.
but it's nothing like Atlanta.
Oh no.
Yeah, I love, if you travel and for work or whatever, I live in Fort O, so I can be to the airport in 15 minutes. I can be through security in 15 minutes sitting
Right.
at the gate versus if I went to Atlanta airport, I'd have to be traveling. I'd have to allow 2 hours to get to the airport, an hour through the gate, and so to me that's sold me on Chattanooga for sure. And I don't travel that much anymore, but
Right.
I tell everybody that's relocating and all that's one of the benefits of Chattanooga because you've got a big city type atmosphere, but you don't have all the big city
Problems.
congestion.
Well, I
problems.
can't say problems, but traffic congestion.
Yeah,
is
congestion
crazy.
and all that.
Yeah, I stay away from that 75-24 split. I'm like, I found
Yeah.
every back road I can
Yeah.
to get past all that stuff.
I go through the tunnel unless, up 41 through the tunnel unless I'm towing my RV.
Oh,
then
there
I
you
have
go.
to go that split, and man, I don't like that split.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, you can
Well,
go over.
I've gone the back
Yeah,
roads
there's
and all
ways.
that.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
Yeah.
So, and I do like, I do, well, I kind of grew up in this area as a kid. We didn't, we did live in Chickamauga for a little while. Then we lived on Lookout Mountain, but those are for like 1 year, 2 years, stuff like that. Never really paid attention to it as a kid, right? So never realized there's mountains. I didn't realize there, that much of the river. We just lived in red dirt, Georgia, for
Yeah.
God's sake. That's where
Right.
and now I came back up here and I was like, wow. I was raised in the Appalachians, or the beginning of the
Yeah.
foothills of the Appalachians, right?
Right.
And the mountains are beautiful, the river's beautiful, the creeks, the trails,
Right.
the camping. I'm not a big boater anymore. I come from Florida. I've had my fill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good, but I have an RV, so I guess I have another hole in the water,
Yeah.
or hole in the ground that I throw
Yeah.
money into.
Right.
But it is a great. But people don't realize this is a big tech city.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's a hub, and that's why they have. At one point in time they were touted 10 gig city,
Right.
and now they're the 20 gig city because the tech has actually moved in here. A lot of military here. It's just great, and you could throw a rock and hit a church.
Yeah.
So you can't ever say you can't find a church.
Right.
So if I hear someone go, I just can't find a good church, I'm like, well, you just throw another rock because you'll get another church
Yep.
and go try it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And the food is absolutely fabulous. We go to this place that's been around longer than I've been alive in Chattanooga, and it's in an area you're like, but I love B's Restaurant.
Yes.
You sit in the little turnstile, and it's family style, and they just put it on there, and they'll just keep feeding you until
Yeah.
you pop.
Yeah.
So and they're not paying me to say that. I'm just saying it's a really good place
Right.
to eat. But we're downtown Ringgold, and we got some fabulous food down here. We got a new winery that's opened
Yeah.
up. if you're looking for a place, I'd say come Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Look at Ringgold, look at Fort O.
Right,
Right.
right.
You can even go out. I guess you can go to Ottawa. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, Ottawa
Go to
and
Ottawa if you
Cleveland.
want to.
Yeah.
And I would say, look, try to find something on Lookout Mountain, but hey, you better have money.
Yeah, Signal Mountain.
Signal
Yeah.
Mountain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sand.
You have Black Creek, Chattanooga. You
Right.
have Windstone, which are golf communities in the area.
Yeah.
And there's a few other golf communities, but Black Creek is a really nice golf community. So when I'm dealing with people from out of the area that like golf, I tell them about that. And of course, I came from Augusta, so I know all about
Yeah,
the
that's
Masters.
some of what he taught, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we have a good conversation around that.
So if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way?
Well, you can text or call me at 404-271-1360. You can go to our website, which is DixonHomesRealty.com.
Dixon Homes.
With a S, because there's more than one home.
That's right.
And I have 6 agents that work with me, and I have one that is a Tennessee broker. She's not our Tennessee broker, but she is a broker that worked with a brokerage out of Nashville. That's a great resource for us if we ever have any Tennessee specific issues. And then,
Awesome.
but I'm the owner and managing broker of Dixon Homes.
And in the near future, I think, if I'm right, I think you're going to start a podcast, right, with us?
That's the plan.
That's
yes.
the plan,
yes.
Stan.
Yeah. So we've got a new little catchphrase because our logo has a little red bird in it, and so we're doing follow the red bird, hashtag follow the red bird. So if you go Google and put in hashtag follow the red bird, all our stuff will come up about Dixon Homes Realty as well.
I love it. So now we just got to find maybe follow the red bird.
Yeah.
That may not be a bad podcast name, guys.
Yeah.
I guarantee it's not being used right now.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were leaning towards and wanting to talk to you about.
Yeah,
So,
I actually kind of like that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So you know what? Thanks for watching today. If you're looking for the North Georgia, Tennessee border, probably some of Alabama, you really do need to go ahead and give this man a call. He will take really, really good care of you. We'll have all this information down below in the description of the shows.